Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a huge question facing one of the biggest communities in crypto, Pi Network. We're talking about one single move that could literally change everything for them.
And that question is it time for Pi Network to build its very own exchange? Now, this isn't just some random what if. It's a serious debate going on right now. The thinking is, for Pi Network to really succeed, it has to take control. So let's get into why this is such a big deal. And when we talk about a big deal, the stakes are, well, they're massive. We're talking about more than 10 million users who are already on the mainnet. So whatever happens next affects this huge global community. This is way beyond a small startup, right? It's more like a digital nation trying to figure out its next move. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, why is this even a conversation? Then, what's the big idea for their own exchange? What are the roadblocks? And finally, how could they actually make this happen? All right, first up, a network at a crossroads. Think of it like this. Pi Network has built this incredible city with millions of people, but all the roads leading in and out are controlled by someone else. They've got this massive user base, which is amazing, but it's also created a huge vulnerability. They're depending on others, and that's a risky place to be. So that brings us to the core argument, the case for a native exchange. I mean, what's the big deal about relying on other platforms? Let's dig into why this is such a risky game for them to be playing.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have the current situation, relying on outsiders. That means high fees, and all that value is just draining away from the Pi ecosystem. But on the other side, controlling their own destiny. That means fees get put right back into the system, they can build features for their own users, and create a much more stable environment for all the apps on the network. And look, this is way more than just a convenience thing. We're talking about real economic and strategic risks here. Just think about it. All that money from listing fees and trading fees, it's all flowing out to other companies. That's money that could be funding Pi developers. And even worse, from a strategic point of view, they're basically at the mercy of these other platforms. They could get delisted overnight or face price manipulation, and there's not a whole lot they could do about it. This isn't some crazy new idea. We've seen this movie before, right? Just look at the giants. Binance built its own exchange. Uniswap is the heart of Ethereum. History shows us pretty clearly that if you want to build a truly massive ecosystem, you've got to control your own trading infrastructure. It's how you capture value and really get things cooking. Okay, so we got the why. Now let's talk about the how. If Pi Network is going to do this, what would their exchange actually look like? Well, the most popular idea floating around is something called a hybrid model. And what is a hybrid model? Well, it's basically trying to get the best of both worlds. Imagine taking the speed and the powerful tools of a big, centralized exchange and combining that with the security and user control you get from a decentralized one. It's like having your cake and eating it too. So here's what that looks like in practice. From the centralized world, you get all the good stuff, super fast trading, advanced tools like limit orders, stop losses, you name it. But, and this is the key part, from the decentralized world, you get to keep control of your own keys. Your money is your money. It's non-custodial, everything is transparent, and runs on smart contracts. And here's the magic. This becomes the economic engine for the entire network. Instead of those fees just vanishing, they get pumped right back in. Think about it. A big slice could go to users as staking rewards, another chunk could act like a venture fund for new apps, and you could even burn some of the tokens, making the ones left even more scarce. It's a self-sustaining loop. Okay, this all sounds great, right? But let's pump the brakes a little. This is not easy. Building something like this is a massive, massive undertaking. There are some serious hurdles they'd have to clear to make this vision a reality. And those hurdles fall into three big buckets. First, regulatory. You've got this global spiderweb of rules like the new MiCA regulations in Europe. It's a minefield. Second, technical. Building an exchange that's secure, fast, and can handle millions of users, that is a monster of an engineering challenge. And third, competition. I mean, you'd be going up against absolute giants like Binance, Coinbase, and Uniswap. So given all that, how long would this actually take? This isn't something you just flip a switch on. We're talking about a long road ahead. Realistically, you're looking at a multi-year plan. You'd probably spend the next couple of years, say through 2026, just on the heavy lifting, the development and testing. Then maybe a beta launch in 2026 or 2027. And then, if everything goes perfectly, you might see a full-blown launch with mainstream adoption sometime after that. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
So if you're a part of the Pi community, what are the signs to watch for? Well, there are a few key milestones. First, you'll want to see a white paper that details exactly how this thing will work. Then, a test net so the community can kick the tires. After that, the big one, getting the green light from regulators. And then, finally, going live on the mainnet. Each one of those steps would be a huge deal.
So, when you boil it all down, the argument is simple. This isn't just a nice-to-have feature. It's not just a cool idea. For a network as big as Pi, the people who support this believe it's an absolute strategic necessity. It's about survival and being able to actually grow in this incredibly competitive space. Because in the end, you can have the best tech, the smartest economic model, the most brilliant strategy on paper. But for a project this massive, that's not enough. It all comes